Good morning, everybody. This is Calvin Butler. And I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of the Commercial Loan Guy brought to you by First Choice Financial Incorporated. Okay, today we're going to talk about red flags when it comes to business financing and what could, pop up to stop you from getting your final approval and things like that, both in business financing and in real estate financing. Um, because everybody knows that, business loans are, they're essential. And a lot of people, they get kind of timid about applying for a business loan or business funding or something like that. I want you all to know something. Business funding is probably one of the most easiest and most accessible types of funding there is. Okay. It really is not that hard to get qualified for business funding anywhere from $10,000 to $500,000. And if you're on the real estate side, anywhere from $100,000 to $50 million. But you just have to be aware of some things that you have to have in order to make sure that you pass muster, as we say in the industry. Some of the red flags that and what we call deal killers. NSFs, that's non-sufficient funds. So if you've got your business bank account already set up and everything, it's been in operation for the last 6 months, 3 months, a year or whatever the case may be. You got your business bank account set up and you apply for a business loan and they ask for your last 3 months bank statements. What lenders don't want to see, they don't want to see more than 10 non-sufficient funds statements in your business bank account, okay, in the last 3 months. Okay, so that's like, you know, three and a half, or yeah, three and a half, three per month, really. No more than that. So they don't want to see more than 10 in the last 3 months. Okay. Another thing that they don't want to see is they don't want to see, negative days. Okay. If your bank account is in the negative, they don't want to see your bank account go in the negative for more than 10 days in the last 3 months. So if your bank account drops into the negative, your business bank account, 1 or 2 days, get it caught up real quick before it hits that 5 day mark. Or because you only get, they don't want to see 10 in the last 3 months. So if you had one negative day for 1 month, then you had 4 negative days for another month, and then you had 6 negative days for another month, then you automatically disqualified. So make sure that you take care of those negative balances, get them caught up, and get them, these somewhat in the positive or break even. But you don't want to have more than 10 negative days in the last 3 months. Okay. MCAs, recent MCAs. Now, last 90 days unless consolidated. Now, you know, you don't want to have, the MCAs that's out there, you just don't want to have them. Okay. I know there's a lot of places that do the MCA funding and, doing all that type of stuff, but you just don't want to have, an open MCA, loan in the last, 90 days, unless you're going to consolidate them into this loan. Okay. Credit freezes. Okay. Sometimes business owners, they send a letter or they request a credit freeze from Equifax. That what happens with that is they're freezing your credit. They're freezing your credit. So no more open lines can take place. You may freeze because you don't want a lot of inquiries or hard inquiries or things like that. Um, if you have a credit fee freeze, make sure that it's been taken off and it's in your credit is now active. Okay. Equifax freeze active. Okay. So make sure that you get that taken care of. Ownership. Okay. Ownership less than 1% or unverifiable. Now, lenders want to loan money to the business owner or to the business owner who has a significant percentage of ownership in that business. If you're trying to get a business loan and you're not the owner or you're less than, you have less than 1% ownership. If you don't have at least, I would say 10% to 20% ownership of the business, is what you're gonna need. Okay. Preferably, they want you to own 100% of it, 50% of it, 60% of it. Want you to be the majority. But if you own, a good percentage of the business, you're good. But if you own less than 1%, then that's unverifiable, and then that's a deal killer. Okay. Mismatch. And what we mean by mismatch in the business, your business name and the name on the application has to match the bank account. You don't go and apply for a business that you have an LLC for, whatever, whatever, and then your bank account has a totally different name on it. Big red flag. Big red flag. Because they're going to ask for the bank statements of the business you're trying to get the loan for. Okay, you're trying to secure the capital for. So make sure your business name and the name that you applied for is the same name that's on that bank account. Okay. Now, some industries may limit for certain products. Okay. So, there's the thing about FC Financial, my company, is we have relationships with enough lending partners that we can cover just about everything. Now, there are some lenders who won't give business loans for adult type industries like strip clubs, OnlyFans, things like that. I mean, yeah, you just have some lenders that don't want to lend to that. But we do have lenders that will do stuff like, strip clubs and bars and things like that. Stuff for the adult industry. Some, lenders won't deal with gambling. Okay. If you have some gambling operations, they want to make sure that you're completely legal in that state. Some lenders just prefer not to deal with them at all. But we do have lenders within our lending partner network that are okay with gambling type businesses. So we can find a match for you just about whatever type of business you have. Okay. Missing dots. That's a big one. Okay. Incomplete submission or missing key items. Look, the deal cannot go forward until all the documents have been uploaded to your file. Okay. Every one of our lending partners that we send you through, or we send you the link to the application app, they have it in there where you can upload any and all your documents. Now, if you're missing a document that they're requesting, the deal is not going to go forward. That deal is not going to close until that document gets in. And you want to get those documents in pretty quick because that deal is not going to sit out there for a month, 2 months. We like to close deals in 24 hours to 7 to 10 business days. I mean, we have had some deals that are closed in the same day that your documents were sent in. So once your documents are sent in, everything moves really, really fast. It starts off real fast, with the application. You get your pre-approval within minutes, seconds, really, and then they move you to the full application. You complete the full application. You upload your documents. If all your documents are uploaded, there's a good chance you can get funding that same day or within 24 hours after all your documents are uploaded. I mean, we have had 1.5 million, 900,000 deals, $2 million deals closed in as little as 4 days because they had all the documents in it. And these people got their money, their funding within 4, 5, 6 days. And like I said, some deals, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $150,000, $200,000 lines of credit, funded in the same day. Same thing with equipment finance. Get all your documents in, everything that's being requested, everything goes smoothly, closes quickly, and you get your money. Look, everybody, I want to thank you all for joining me again as we went over the red flags and deal killers that prevents people and individuals from securing their business loans. I look forward to seeing you all in my timelines, and I look forward to you all sending me your applications so we can make your dreams come true. Thanks again. This has been Calvin, the commercial loan guy with First Choice Financial. Bye, everybody.